This is one of Barbara Allen's few peaceful and treasured moments, flying through the air with one of her children. The rest of her time is spent fighting for the memory of her husband.
There's a kill zone for about 50 meters, I think.
She's describing the power of a Claymore mine and can recite facts about the device by heart.
Upon detonation, this explodes outward, and there's 700 steel ball bearings in here.
Not every mom knows these facts. In 2005, a Claymore mine like this one killed her husband, Lieutenant Lou Allen, 3 days after the National Guardsmen from the 42nd Infantry Division out of Troy arrived in Iraq. His friend, Captain Philip Esposito, was also killed.
As I was leaving the cemetery from Lou's funeral, my casualty assistance officer informed me that an American soldier had been arrested for murder.
3 years later, fellow soldier Sergeant Alberto Martinez went on trial in a military court for the mine murders of Allen and Esposito. The verdict, not guilty.
That moment was very much equal to when my doorbell rang and the soldiers were there telling me that my husband was killed. It was that shocking and that devastating.
It would appear that that's how it would end, but not for Allen. She's written a book dissecting the trial, which she calls a travesty, testimony by testimony.
The evidence was there in the beginning, and it was slowly severed over the course of the pretrial hearings.
Never to forget what happened, she titled it Front Toward Enemy to symbolize how her husband, the soldier, was killed by a device intended to kill the enemy. It's also a challenge to the military to deal with the issue of soldiers who turn on other soldiers. But as excruciating as the trial was and the writing of the book, she's now begun an equally challenging task, trying to have her husband awarded a Purple Heart. This email, one of many from the military, denies her request. It says his death was a homicide, making him ineligible. So she's turned away from the military and towards the president, starting a petition drive that she hopes will result in bringing recognition to an unconventional enemy. There are some who are listening to Barb and supporting her cause. Shortly after her book came out, she received 2 Purple Hearts. They were sent by 2 Vietnam vets who read her book and wanted to honor her husband. One has even been engraved with her husband's name. And while she deeply appreciates the gesture, she wants one from the military. She wants it for her husband and for her 4 boys.
He was very excited about coming home from Iraq and being able to tell them stories when they grew up. He was a part of history. And so not only did he not have an opportunity to come back, but the government has now stolen the one gift he has left to give his children, which is his legacy.